Surprise, surprise, we're looking at another key tall forward prospect in the 2024 draft. And we're looking at another Northern Knights prospect that was also coached by Pebbles, Anthony Rocker. And his name is Gabriel Stumpf. He actually paired really well with the other forward we spoke about yesterday in Thomas Sims. They managed to pile on 50 goals between the two in the Coates Talent League this year. And Gabriel Stumpf has sort of taken some headlines by storm this last couple of weeks due to his performance at the draft combine. What did we get from him? In the 20-meter sprint, he recorded elite numbers there and the standing vertical jump, which made him the top performing athlete overall in the draft combine. And at the moment, we have Stumpf in a draft range between the picks 40 and 60. And with the father, sons and academy bids, we're hoping we can get one of our picks down to the 45 mark. So there is a chance we get Stumpf. I think Stumpf is probably in between Thomas Sims, who's first preference, and you've got Stumpf, and then you've got Charlie Nichols a bit further back if he gets to that point as well. So we will do an analysis as we always do with some video annotations. But what else have I got for you in the sense of old mate Stumpfy? So he kicks 27 goals in 17 games, and I noticed he was a consistent goal kicker. What do I mean by that? Well, you look at Thomas Sims, he kicked 7 against the Chargers, who was a Mickey Mouse team at the time with not a whole lot of players playing for them. They obviously had a much better end to the year when all their players came back. And then kicked 5 against the Jets. So 12 of his goals came in 2 games, where Sims kicked 23. So 12 of them were in 2 games. And then you compare that to someone like Stumpf, who was kicking 2s and 3s all year and kicked a few goals in the wildcard round and the finals where they got eliminated against the Chargers as well. So he had a really good back end to his Coates Talent League season and played 2 games in the Vic Metro side. So 2 games there. And then just looking at some key tools to refer to from, I guess, draw comparisons from last year's draft. And we look at Cal Shadia, who was a representative for the Sandy Dragons, kicked 20-odd goals in 13 games. I'll just clarify here while we're here. Let's have a look. 21 goals in 15 games, and he was taken, I think, at a father-son prospect for the Hawks at round... Let's have a look here. So Cal Shadia, with those stats playing for Sandy, 21 goals in 15 games, he ends up playing 17 games and kicks 25 goals for Hawthorn after being drafted at pick 56 as a father-son prospect. So my point I'm trying to make with this is you just don't know what you're going to get with these key tall forwards in these ranges between 40 and 60. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be a bust? You look at Logan Morris, who was pick 30, and he kicked 30 goals in both his seasons for the Western Jets and goes on to win a premiership as a starting key tall forward for the Lions, as that third key tall pillar. And what was the knock on Morris? Was it he was an in-between size, 191 centimetres? I'm not too sure. Was it Western Jets? I don't know. But that's why it's fascinating to look at these players in a bit of a deeper sense to see what abilities they possess and just make a judgment based on what we're seeing, because these numbers, 40, 50, 60, Nick Larkey was taken in the 70s, sometimes it doesn't mean much. You've just got to trust that these players can grow into what they show at Coates Talent League level. So without further ado, let's have a look at what Gabriel Stumpf has been able to provide. What we'll notice with these highlights is Stumpf is persistent at ground level and makes it look easy when he takes marks on lead, referring to his 20-meter sprint in the draft combine, and just always seems to be in space at all times. Now, you can call that luck, you can call that what you want, but if it happens enough times, in my opinion, that is a skill that he's acquired, making things look easy. So let's get into it. So Stumpf here, and this is just what I'm talking about here. Why does this fall at the right place at the right time? And we'll see a few examples of this. So right now we've got Stumpf around here. He's number 23. And you can see players panicking to get to this drop point here, but Stumpf just seems composed. He knows where the ball's going to fall and doesn't rely on reacting to how other players around him are responding to the flight of the ball, which is a great trait to have, to believe in your own judgment of the ball while it's in its aerial flight. Does seem to have a bit of a strut as well, just quietly, a bit of an aura about him. Does he dob this? I included this so we can have a look at his kicking style, which is quite nice, and does bang this in. This is an important game between Eastern Rangers. They're quite close on the ladder at this time of the season. 2-on-1, Stumpfy there, number 23, wearing Anthony Rocca's number, by the way, mind you. Does that mean anything? But look at this here. Just gets early body work on his defender. This guy's maybe trying to play third man, doesn't really do much there. And that's just a really tall player standing at 196 centimeters, reading the ball at its highest point and putting body work on his defender here as well. So this was a game where he kicked 3 or 4, by the way, against Eastern Rangers. So this is just another moment where we find Stumpf open. I just wanted to include that just to show you. Does he bang this in? Let's find out. On a slight angle, let's call it 35, 40 out. Just misses to the left. Not just misses, but misses. So we see this space here, which is completely unoccupied, and guess who's going to fulfill that space? It's like, he's that fast. It's an uncontested mark on the lead. And we've mentioned before, these games are designed for it to be a lot more open going inside 50, but if you're that fast bursting off players, your defender's nowhere near you in what is supposed to be a one-on-one scenario, it's a really good sign for this youngster. He takes a check side kick, which I noted on his right foot. His preferred foot is the right foot. Opts not to use his left here. So he comes in late here to take this stoppage inside forward 50. Wins the tap, follows up his work, and gets the ball to foot in amongst a bunch of heat and contest, which is really impressive. He does this a couple times, and I've got a couple more clips like that where he's just able to navigate traffic at his height and manage to know where the goals are at the same time. So just a real goal sense when he's around those 4 big sticks. And more importantly, finds the 2 big ones. So that was Northern Knights versus Sandy, I believe. It's just another case of Stumpf just reading the play. He makes it look too easy, which is concerning. Like, we don't see many massive contested grabs here, but does he just put himself in the right position at the right time? Just reads this much better than his opponent. I mean, this guy's trying his best to get this, but because of his height, look, he's not even off the ground yet. Just reads that better. The height helps, obviously. And then protects the landing space here. Doesn't quite stick the mark. Watch this. He's still there, 23. Still has the ball and kicks that. So hold on a minute. Let's rewatch this back, right? All right, where does he start? All right, here we go. So at this point, he's holding space behind his defender, recognizes that his player with the ball is opening up there. So he's all right, cool, I'm just going to lead to the space that he's presenting to. Realizes the ball's working underneath him a little bit, so he's going to have to put some body work onto his defender. Does that well, just drops this. Okay, maybe he sticks that in a couple of years' time. All right, what does he do from here? Is he resilient? Does he want to win the ball? Or does he go, fuck, I've just completely cooked this? Still there, on the ground right now, yeah? On the ground, takes the ball. He's now got the ball. And in between 1, 2, 3, 4, if we want to include these players, there's 6 or 7 players that were around him that could have impeded that shot on goal. And he finds it. Incredible effort. Absolutely wonderful, isn't it? All right, where are we now? Another situation where this is Stumpf just holding front position, which is a fundamental, right? This is where you want to be in a stoppage. If you're not taking the ruck responsibility, then you should be in that goal square and in front of your opposition. I think this is against Bendigo Pioneers or Murray. Nevertheless, I don't know the jerseys off by heart just yet. I'm sorry. Good body work. Just works him. Really strong. And comfortable enough to finish on his left right in front of goal. So we'll rewatch that back. Let's see, where is he? He's basically got the whole 50 to himself, which granted you're not going to get that AFL level, okay? But he's engaged early. He's fighting for prime position here very early on. Look at that. You can see if this player has presence of mind, if you're an absolutely elite player, you're seeing those hands and putting it right in front of him. But amidst this, I guess, stoppage, you're going to be asking a lot for this to be seen. This hand here doesn't quite happen anyways. He adjusts. This guy's probably got him high. Just works him well. Gets a little soft touch on the ball. Beats him to the ball and kicks a goal. Really nice. Is this the Joe the Goose? No, it's not. Yeah, kind of clean. So what I'm noticing here is Stumpf is very comfortable inside 50, in open play, and if he gets the ball on his left side, he's not afraid to snap it through. This is against Murray, and the conditions were shocking, and he's comfortable enough to kick that on his left foot there. So a really good sign. What do we got here? Just works his guy well underneath him. Too strong, well too strong. Can we get any? Is it a push in the back? I don't know, but I still deem that good enough body work. We've seen his work in the last few clips. In shocking conditions, sticks the mark, chest mark. Could have easily dropped that still in those conditions. Just too good, too strong, really. And that is it, yeah. So that's Stumpf in a nutshell. We didn't see the big contested grabs, but one-on-one, he's really good. Very fast off the mark. We talked about him in a draft combine with his vertical jump and his 20-meter sprint, making him the #1 overall ranked athlete at the draft combine. So this is another player who, if you ask me, do you want Sims, do you want Stumpf, do you want Nichols? Give me Sims, give me Stumpf. Sims is probably going to be closer to that upper 30s, lower 40s. Stumpf is someone who we could find at around the 45 mark. Nichols is probably third preference at this point in this series so far. We've still got a few more players to look at while we're here. But yeah, that's Stumpf in a nutshell. Played Vic Metro, kicked 50 goals in tandem with Thomas Sims for the Northern Knights under the tutelage of Anthony Rocker. He's a giant and seems to have a great deal of confidence about his game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Where do you think he's going to fall? Do you know anything more about him? And would you like him at the Collingwood Football Club in 2025? Go Pies.